Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Daryl here. It is 7 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Let's talk about Donald Trump and God. Um, with the Republicans pushing so hard for the Supreme Court to fill the Supreme Court seat with Amy Coney Barrett. It seems to the regular American that does have a lot to do with religion. It seems like two things. It seems like they want to get her in there in case there's a dispute over the ballots, which I'm sure there's going to be, and the Republicans believe it'll be a way to get a vote in their favor if there is a dispute, which more than likely there will be. And the other reason is for their religious supporters to get the vote of the evangelical vote, the Bible Belt vote, because there's a very strong push amongst conservatives to overturn Roe versus Wade. I think that's why to be honest with you guys, I think a lot of people in this country are willing to overlook Donald Trump's completely unchristian behavior if it means that they might have a chance to overturn Roe versus Wade. I think that's the bottom line. I think that's what it comes down to. I watched a TV show just last Sunday. I don't know. It was one of the morning news shows, and it talked about how Trump had just put out a tweet Sunday morning, again saying that Biden hates God. That is one of the things that really irks me when anyone speaks like they have like they know what God wants or what God is saying. That's not one of my favorite things. So he texts Biden's going to hurt God or hates God. He texted that just last Sunday, and the ironic thing is, Joe Biden was in church in Wilmington, Delaware, in his Catholic church at that moment Sunday when Trump was at the White House tweeting, throwing mud on his neighbor. I'm sure that's breaking some commandment right there. I don't think he's a man of faith at all. I think, obviously, there's a lot of articles where he talks, people have heard him. Michael Cohen talks a lot about having heard him make fun of people that believe in God or religion, that they're all crooks, that they're all scammers. A lot of these big churches. One of the interesting things, while we're talking about the A word and everything, I've thought about this a lot. My view on that has changed over the years. I know this is a touchy subject to get into, but you know what? I'm a 54-year-old male. At this point, I'm not going to have any kids. I don't have any grandkids. Overturning Roe versus Wade does not affect me one way or the other right now. But here's the thing, though. I have, a man my age or older than me especially has no right telling a woman what to do in this kind of circumstance that they themselves will never be in. So that pretty much gives away the way I feel about that. Another interesting thing that I can't seem to rectify, to justify, is conservatives and Republicans want to overturn Roe versus Wade, but yet it seems like they care so much about the unborn child. But what happens when that child becomes born? So many of the Republicans' programs, their legislation, it has no help for kids, for anything to do with kids or young mothers or mothers. Or it seems they care up until the child is born, and then after that, there's no consideration whatsoever. What kind of Christian people would divide up a family, even if that family was Mexican or Guatemalan? What Christian person what Christian person could possibly pull a 5 or 8-year-old little boy away from their parents and separate them, possibly never to be reunited? What kind of Christian person could ever do that? No Christian person could ever do that. That's my opinion. Again, I think Donald Trump calls in these evangelical people that lay hands on him in the Oval Office, I think that's completely a photo op. I think Donald Trump has no belief, no faith whatsoever. And then on top of that, when he makes up all this stuff about Biden hating God, it should be bothersome to people of faith that he's using God in a political way like that. That, it should really bother people of faith that Trump is pulling in the Lord to a political argument, and lying about it too. So there's so much I could talk about this. I don't think Donald Trump has the least bit of faith in God or any of that. I think his thought process goes around him, his ego, and how people see him, his legacy, even before his family or anything else. I think it's all about him. Evidence like without wearing a mask and all this stuff with the Trump family themselves. I can't believe the inconsideration for the people around them. Even if you don't care that you get COVID-19 by yourself, it shows a complete lack of consideration for the people around you, for their lives, for their suffering, for their potential suffering, or their sickness, or their health. It shows a complete lack of consideration, which again goes back to how could you have faith? How could you be a man of faith, of religion, and believe in God when you have such little care for the people around you? So much I could talk about, but there's a start. I'll be back later with some more thoughts on this. You guys have a good Tuesday.